Hi everyone, it's Angel. It's time for Healthy House Calls with Angel. Thank you so much for joining me on this third episode of Healthy House Calls with Angel. And thank you so much to everyone who's been sharing the videos on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Pinterest. Thank you so much. I really appreciate knowing that these videos are helpful to you in designing a healthier lifestyle. And I'm also really grateful for the questions that have been pouring in through different channels of social media, because it really tells me that lots of people are passionate about designing a healthier lifestyle for themselves. So really insightful questions coming in. It's hard to choose, but I'm grabbing the ones that are most commonly appearing. And I just want to thank you so much, because I'm so passionate about this, about living a healthy lifestyle, and I'm so happy to share these insights with you. As you know, I'm Angel. I'm the owner of Siva Health, an integrative health coaching and private house calls practice in Maryland. And these videos are my way of sharing with you the tips, tools, and strategies that I share with my clients about healthier lifestyle by intentional design. So thanks so much for joining me on this third episode. This episode is really packed because I got a wonderful question that came in from one of my viewers in Atlanta, and it is just a fantastic question, perfect time of the year for it. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to get to the heart of what she's asking, and the heart of something that's really important to me. So her question is, and this comes from Tabitha in Atlanta. Hi Tabitha, thanks so much for sending in your question. Dear Angel, I'd like to know what you think about detoxing. I feel tired all of the time, and from what I've read, it seems like detoxing might help. I see a lot of products and programs for kidney and liver detox. I'm wondering which products you recommend for your patients. Great question, because none of us has time, resources, or money to waste. We don't want to feel like we're buying products that just sit on the shelf, that never do what they're promising to do. And more importantly, we don't want to have products that cause harm to us either. So it's really important to get some good insight about what works and what doesn't work. But that said, I really want to make one disclosure here about my practice. So I'm not so much focused on products as much as I am on lifestyle and on what you're doing holistically. As I said in the beginning, my practice is very holistic and integrative. So rather than jump to any product, whether it be a prescription medication or even be an over-the-counter herb or supplement, I really like to look at things holistically, and I like to design interventions that are holistic in nature. So your exercise, your sleep, your nutrition, your work, your personal stressors. I like to look at the whole picture rather than just honing in on one particular product or a service that may be popular. So that said, my training is largely allopathic. My formal training is largely allopathic, meaning that I'm trained to diagnose disease, look for disease through x-rays, labs, MRIs, ultrasounds, symptom report, and whatnot. But my passion and my real work is more integrative. So as the tools and tips that I'm going to share with you today, and that I always share in my videos, is always going to be coming from a dual perspective for me. Allopathic training, but integrative approach toward deeper healing and looking for root causes rather than just covering up symptoms with a product. So let's dive right in. So the kidneys are really important, or a really important organ. They filter waste, they regulate fluid, they keep important electrolytes stable. So like your sodium, your potassium, your chloride, your CO2, those are all really essential electrolytes for maintaining cognition, maintaining good heart health, and pretty much regulating a lot of functions in the body. The kidneys also produce hormones that are essential for regulating blood pressure, for producing red blood cells, and for also producing the substances that help keep bones healthy. So the kidneys are a very important organ. The liver, also known as the great detoxifier, it helps filter out chemicals and drugs. So things that you take over the counter, things that you take that are prescription, alcohol, caffeine, the liver has the big task of filtering out chemicals out of the body. The liver also manufactures proteins that are essential for clotting. And the liver also has a role in regulating sugar, glucose metabolism in the body. So it's got a hefty job. Those two organs together really don't need a whole lot of intervention from us, to be honest with you. In healthy states where there's homeostasis in the body, those two organs pretty much know what they need to do. And when I say healthy states, I mean in the absence of diseases like hypertension, kidney disease, diabetes, fatty liver disease. In a healthy body, liver and kidneys do pretty well when they're well hydrated and our nutrition is solid and whatnot. Where we get into trouble, however, is when certain conditions, like I said, diabetes, kidney disease, things like that, are not well controlled. And certainly when we introduce certain prescription medications, because as we know, every medication has a benefit, but it also has a potential adverse effect. So those are things that impact liver and kidney health. The system that I prefer to focus on, to be honest with you, when it comes down to cleansing and detoxing, really is the gut system. And here's why. There's a lot of research, clinical research available now on the role of the gut microbiome, the gut ecosystem, and how important it is to have a healthy, robust gut microbiome with certain healthy bacteria in the gut. The science available now points to the connection between the gut and lots of chronic health conditions like Alzheimer's, mood disorders, depression, anxiety, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, PCOS even. So there are lots and lots of chronic conditions that we're now seeing connected to the gut microbiome. And in my branch of integrative health and functional medicine, we're really getting more and more passionate about the research coming out, because it helps us further drive home the importance of gut health and good solid nutrition. So in this video, again, I'm going to give you an integrative approach, but I'm going to turn the focus to gut and gut cleansing, because that really is, I think, far more important for the majority of us, and for making sure that we are avoiding or at least reducing the risk of developing chronic health conditions. One other thing I should add too is that allergies are even identified with, the research is showing that allergies may be connected to the gut microbiome as well. And the reason why I'm happy that this research has come out also is because 80 to 90% of the immune system lies in the gut. So it makes sense that if you have allergic conditions and that immune system balance isn't regulated properly, it makes sense that making that gut microbiome more stable might help to regulate or control allergy-like symptoms. As we know, thousands and thousands of people lose days from work, lose days from school, lose days of overall productivity because of unregulated allergy symptoms and things like this. So again, just wanted to throw that in there also, that gut health is so important for so many different conditions. As well as gut health, GI cleansing can be helpful if you'd like to engage in a weight management program. Cleansing the gut can help accelerate weight loss as well. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. I've got my little handy notes here that I'm going to share with you, and I've got a lot to offer. So I'm going to take a peek every now and then just to make sure that we're on track. I like to begin everything from a place of mindfulness. I think mindfulness and knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it is really the key to all change. So mindfulness for me takes the shape of journaling. If you don't maintain a health journal already, I would highly recommend that you consider doing so, because journaling can help you track not only what you're doing and why you're doing it, but how you're doing it and what effect the things that you're doing are having on your overall health. So tracking things like your daily activities, your nutritional habits, what you're eating, how long you're working, how long your workday is, when your workday begins, when it ends, how well you're even sleeping. These are good things to incorporate into any wellness or cleansing or detox program, because again, if we're just focusing on products and we're not changing lifestyle, then we're really not going to make much headway or make much progress into getting to the goal of feeling better. So start step number one with having a health journal and writing out your goals and your intentions for embarking on your cleanse. Set a timeline. I'm a big believer in having clear starts and stops to things. So some people do a cleanse for a weekend, some people do a cleanse for a whole week, others choose to do their cleanses over the course of a whole month. But either way, decide what you can safely engage in for yourself. Now, I need to say that if you're going to embark on any cleanse or making any changes, incorporating any supplements or new products, always have this conversation with your healthcare provider first, because everyone's different and what's safe for one person may not necessarily be safe for the next. So set your timeline, decide exactly how long you want to engage in your particular cleanse, put it in your journal, put it in your calendar. This way you'll have a good place, a good reminder of what you're about to embark on. And you know, you may even want to get a friend involved, because sometimes when you have accountability, someone to help you be accountable, it's helpful for staying on the mark and keeping track with what you're doing. So having that motivation is important also. So you've got your journal, you've got your timeline. Next thing you want to start looking at, more importantly for gut health again, is nutrition. I'm a big believer in seasonal wellness. I try very hard to eat according to the seasons. I find that produce is much more healthy. It's fresher. I do support farmers markets and CSAs, which are community supported agriculture outlets. And I just find that the produce is healthier. As I said, it's fresher, it's loaded with nutrients. It's not sitting on the shelf somewhere for weeks on end. And it just makes me feel like I am living more in harmony with nature. I'm a big nature lover, and having that harmony in my life is really important. So for spring, the produce that would really help you establish a good nutrition plan would include like your peas, spinach, wild greens, asparagus, leeks. Those are spring vegetables, very readily found at, I'm sure, any farmer's market. Strawberries and mushrooms are loaded with antioxidants. I mean, I can't speak enough about mushrooms. They are just powerhouse produce. You know, if you look up, do any research on different types of mushrooms, you'll find that they are really, really ancient in use for lots of health disorders. But in any case, as I said, readily found at most farmers markets around this time of the year. So one of the things that I use in my practice often and recommend to my patients is a book called The Balanced Plate. Renee Liu does a fantastic job. In the very beginning, she has some reference points about common and dangerous chemical pesticides that are used, unfortunately, in U.S. farming methods. She gets into GMO and genetically modified organisms, and she just talks about raw foods and how to create balance in your life and in your nutrition plan with the use of raw foods. I really, really like this cookbook. It's well over 300 pages with lots of really good recipes, especially if you like to create a nutrition plan that is in harmony with the seasons, as I referred to earlier. The other book that I like a lot, and I go to this a lot, is Clean Eating Bowls. I really like this because, again, we're talking about time. Most of us are, lead very active lifestyles, and bowls are a way of getting in a whole lot of nutrition in a small place and in a controlled portion. I really like this recipe book by Kenzie Swanhart. She does a fantastic job with really, really wonderful recipes that are very, very simple to prepare. Bowls are easy, and as I said, they tend to incorporate, as you can see, lots of different important components. Plus, they're just really, really pretty, and I like for my food to be pretty. So here's another reading choice that you may want to add to your library for nutritional wellness with the seasons. As you embark on your cleanse, you want to identify in your journal the substances that you can slowly start to eliminate, like the sugary foods, the caffeine, the alcohol. That's really, really an important part of cleansing as well. If you can't eliminate those things altogether, certainly try to reduce them gradually over the course of your cleanse. So if you're doing, a 7-day cleanse and you know that you drink, 2 cups of coffee a day, you may want to start to try 1.5 cups, and then 1 cup, and then a half a cup, and then slowly whittle yourself down. If you drink coffee in the morning, maybe you can, as I said, have a smaller cup of it, or maybe even see if you can push your coffee intake into later in the morning or toward noon, just to sort of see how you do without having that cup of coffee every morning. Because a lot of times it's a mental thing. We'll say to ourselves, oh, I've got to have that cup of coffee. And for myself, even some days, if I go without any coffee at all, I can kind of surprise myself like, wow, I didn't have any coffee today. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but if I do have it, I like to mix it up because I don't want to ever think that I can't get my day going without a certain thing. And that's just a mind thing for me. So try to reduce those things that are the obvious culprits that contribute to that sluggishness, like, as I said, the sugary drinks, the caffeines, the alcohols, the beers, all that type of thing. To that point, I'd like to say being well hydrated through any cleanse is really, really important. I mean, really important, more than your 8-ounce glasses of water. You don't want to go overboard chugging gallons and gallons of water and run the risk of water intoxication, but you just want to be mindful throughout your day of incorporating water into your cleanse. I carry a bottle of water with me everywhere, and when I say bottle, I do mean glass bottle. I don't like plastic. I really, really don't like plastic. If I'm out and about and I happen to not have my glass bottle of water, of course, I'll take whatever I can get, but I don't make a habit of drinking water out of plastic bottles because a lot of the plastic that's produced can contain BPA, which is a chemical substance that is harmful to the brain and can cause lots and lots of problems in the body. So you can do some research on BPA, but I'd say avoid plastic as much as possible. I have a 6-pack of these, so 3 of them I use for water, and then the other 3 I typically reserve for my juicing. You can reach out to me. I'll tell you my little places where I get these little things. Also, it's just a really pretty bottle, and as I said, I love pretty things. So I keep these in my car. I keep one on my desk. It's just my way of reminding myself to make sure that I'm drinking water and staying well hydrated. These bottles are super easy to clean. And as I said, it's just a handy way of making sure that I get my water intake for the day. So that's another thing to think about incorporating as well into your cleanse. Consider resting your bowel. Resting your bowel is very, very helpful, and what the formal term for that is just fasting. It's very helpful to give your bowel a chance to rest. Your bowel has to do a lot to digest. The digestive process is very extensive, more extensive than we give any credit to. From the time you put something in your mouth to the time that it travels in through your stomach and the digestive juices come on board to break food down and then it travels through your gut. It's a long, long process, and it takes a lot of your body's energy to perform digestion. So resting your bowel from time to time through fasting is very, very helpful for a cleanse. Now, I have to say this, that a lot of people think of fasting as a religious practice. And while fasting is incorporated into Christian traditions and Muslim traditions and certainly Judaic and other religious practices, it doesn't have to be part of any religious practice for you. You can certainly just fast and see how your body feels when you're not consuming something and that your body has to go into digestive mode repeatedly throughout the day. I will say, again, check with your own healthcare provider to discuss whether fasting is something that you can consider doing, because in states, health conditions like diabetes and other health conditions, fasting may be actually contraindicated. So I'll just lay that out there to always make sure that fasting is something that you can safely do. For me personally, in my practice, I typically guide my clients through a safe and healthy fasting. And for myself, I typically will do a fast over the course of maybe 24 hours. So I may fast for breakfast, fast for lunch, and then have a nice meal at the end of the day. And when I'm saying fasting, I don't mean that I'm not taking anything in. I'm certainly remembering to stay well hydrated. So throughout the day, I may have teas or water or my juice products, but I certainly won't include any food that has to undergo digestive processes and the inclusion of the digestive products that I was mentioning earlier, digestive juices and enzymes and things like that. So fasting is a really useful part of an overall cleanse as well. So think about incorporating that into your cleansing time also. One thing I want to make sure to add in also is cleansing should be a mind-body experience. So for me, it's not enough just to say that I'm taking a particular product or doing a certain set of things. Physically, I also want to make sure I'm doing something mentally, because there might be mental habits that are contributing to my physical symptoms. So as I said, that idea of eliminating coffee. I may have a mindset that I need to have this coffee every day, and eliminating that coffee might make me more irritable or might make me more restless mentally than need be. A mind-body practice like yoga or Tai Chi or meditation or all three can really help create harmony in the body, what you're doing physically and what you're experiencing mentally. Again, my approach is always holistic, always integrative. You can't separate the mind from the body. So it makes sense to do things holistically in a way that incorporates all different parts of ourselves. So in my cleanse, again, if I'm doing a 7-day, I like to make sure that I'm scheduling regular time for my yoga practice, for my Tai Chi and Qigong meditation practices. It just makes the whole cleansing so much more useful. It makes it more holistic. It makes me, when I come out of the cleanse, feel much more balanced and much more centered. So consider incorporating a mind-body practice into your cleanse and into your life overall if you've not already incorporated something. I typically include lots of breathing exercises. This is one that I share with my clients all the time. Breathing in cycles that helps, create peace and calm. It helps sort of lower the blood pressure. Deep breathing practices lowers the heart rate. Very, very good practice. I also typically share with my clients a set of yoga postures that I found really, really helpful, because there are specific postures in yoga that help to extend the region of the gut, the muscles in this area, twists and bends that help to create or stimulate gut motility. So there are lots of different postures for that. And when I'm working with a client who's interested in mind-body practice, I tend to share these types of resources in the cleanse as well, as a guide. Last point I want to make is if you don't already incorporate a multivitamin of any kind into your overall wellness plan, I'd highly recommend that you do so and introduce that into your cleanse as well. The reason why I think multivitamins are so important, because unless you have a perfect diet and you're getting 8 servings of fruits and vegetables and all your dairy and all of your proteins and all of your, carbs and fats and whatnot, unless you've got a perfect diet, which most of us don't, you're likely missing out on essential nutrients. When it comes to product recommendations, I'm very, very hesitant on recommending anything that I don't personally know to be beneficial. And the one that I can say that is heads and tails above all other products I think I've ever experienced myself personally or with my clients is Nutrimetrics. And the reason why I really love this particular multivitamin, first off, it's a daily essential. So it's a multivitamin, but it also contains other things in it that are really good for heart health. And that's part of their OPC3 line. So it's a whole vitamin with lots of different ingredients included, but the thing I like best about it is that it comes in these little packets that are really handy. And I keep them in my purse. My clients typically will keep them in either their work bag or gym bag or their own purse. And they are powder. So what you do is you open it up, you add it into 8 ounces of, now this is more than 8 ounces, but 8 ounces of water. You stir it up and you drink it down. This is important because it's isotonic, which means that it crosses over the cell wall much quicker than a vitamin that you would have to have break down in the digestive juices and in the stomach after a meal. If you skip a meal, 9 times out of 10 you're skipping your vitamins because most people cannot take vitamins on an empty stomach. This is one that can be taken on an empty stomach. I've tried it, works just well. So from a compliance standpoint, you can take this any time of the day, even if you've skipped your breakfast. And as I said, the more important factor is that it's isotonic, so it goes across the cell wall a lot quicker. I feel the results when I'm not, when I've not taken it, I can definitely tell the difference. And the feedback that I've gotten from my clients is that they really, really like it. It helps them to stay on target with their health goals, with taking their multivitamin every day, regardless of what time of the day. And it's just really, really handy. I do offer these in my practice for my health coaching clients. And it's just a fantastic multivitamin. I can't say enough about it. So if you would like to reach out to me to talk further about specific herbs and specific superfoods that you can include in your dietary cleanse or GI cleanse, I'd be happy to do that. I do cover 5 specific superfoods and 5 specific herbs. I include that in my mindful nutrition courses. I also include that education in my health coaching. So if you'd like to reach out to me to talk more about that, certainly reach out to me through my website at www.sivahealthgroup.com. You can schedule a discovery call with me, and we can go from there to get you started on a very holistic and well-rounded approach to dietary cleanses. So that's what I've got for you for today's episode. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Certainly reach out to me on my website, as I said, www.sivahealthgroup.com. You can find me there using the contact form, and you can also find all the other places on social media where I hang out. So I hope this information has been helpful to you. Please continue to share the videos as much as you can and as much as you'd like. And one final thought before we leave each other today: be good to yourself. Be really, really good to yourself, because health is the first wealth, and good health starts with great habits, and great habits start at home. Thank you so much for tuning in to this 3rd episode. I hope you have a great day and a great month. Happy spring, everyone. Take good care. Bye-bye.